What is going on, guys? It is the Cardinal Nick Thompson. I'm just going to restart. I have not done a Q&A since I have been a pro wrestler, and I figured probably the best way to do this was kind of just like sitting in my room with all the posters in the back of what I've done so far. I still have to add some. If you watched the last vlog, you know I have to add some. My title's over there. I could grab it for this Q&A, which I probably will. But I got like 11 questions, so I appreciate everybody who asked me a question. And we're going to kind of get started here. I have to go back and forth on my phone to see who asked me questions and stuff, so just bear with me. So this is more like it. We'll have this guy here for a little bit, probably set him down. But first question comes from Ref John. I only know him as Ref John. I don't call him John. I don't call him his full name. He asked, is Bryan Danielson a striker or a technician? He has asked me this numerous times. He has asked me on his High Side of the Ropes podcast. He's asked me all over the place, like, if Bryan Danielson is considered a striker or a technician. Personally, I would say he's both, but I would say he's more of a technician. I forget what answer he wanted, but whatever answer he wanted, I'm going to say the opposite. And I think he said he was a striker, but I'm going to say he's a technician because he does more submissions. So I'm going to say he's a technician, but he's also a striker. To me, he's both. So I can't pick one. I can't just pick one. But, yeah. Next question. Okay, I got to set this guy down because it's starting to hurt my shoulder. Put him here. You can kind of still see him. ADL Award champion, by the way. Over 530 days, but we're not going to talk. Next question comes from my Aunt Lori. Hi, Aunt Lori, if you're watching this video. Thank you for the questions. She asked, who was my biggest inspiration that made me want to seek a career in pro wrestling? And you can't, actually, it's over there. But John Cena. John Cena is the big reason why I wanted to get a career in pro wrestling. When I was younger, I kind of just like was flipping through the channels. I saw people in my grade liked pro wrestling. And I was like, oh, this is what everybody's watching. Then I saw John Cena. Guy came out in like a big orange shirt. And since then, it was just like, wow, who's this guy? He caught my attention because of his colors. And then I saw him wrestle, and I was like, wow, this guy's pretty good. And then I started to get introduced to more characters and more people. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And that's kind of what started it. So he's been my biggest inspiration. And I live by his rules, never give up. And hustle, loyalty, respect. You always want to hustle for what you want. Always want to stay loyal to the people around you. And you always want to respect the people around you as well. So, good role model for me. That's what I try to bring to everybody else. So, yeah. Next question comes from my old college professor, Hershon. Maybe I'll put a picture because he came and saw me wrestle. And we took a picture together. Shout out Hershon. He asked me, what did I think about Undertaker replacing Stone Cold in the segment at WrestleMania 40? I personally would have liked Stone Cold. I think it would have been like a whole entire, like, full circle moment. But at the same time, I was talking to somebody at my job, and they were saying, like, oh, a Paul Heyman guy cost Undertaker his streak, so the Undertaker came back and got revenge and cost a Paul Heyman guy their longest reign. So I'm honestly okay with him showing up. It was very unexpected, so I look for that in wrestling, so that was pretty cool. All right, so the next few questions come from my friend Fifi. First question, she asked, when I told the people closest to me that I wanted to wrestle, were they supportive of my dream? And honestly, yes, they've always been pretty supportive of my dream, and I'm thankful that I have a supportive surrounding around me. I will say, though, like, when I trained and then I stopped training and then I went back to train, they kind of thought it was just a phase and that it was over. I don't think they really thought it was going to be what it is until they saw me wrestle for the first time, and then they were like, oh crap, like, he's actually doing it. And and I know, like, some of my family members, like, really didn't believe it at first. But now they're all supportive. Like, they're all like, all right, yeah, we got to get to a show every once in a while, and we got to support him, we got to share his stuff, and like, it's good. And my friends have always been supportive. Some of them might have been a little negative towards it. Maybe I think that might have just been some jealousy, but the friends that I have now, the friends that I talk to now, and surround myself with, they're very, very positive. And yeah, some of them are my friends in the business. Like my best friend is like my friend in the business. So like we're there for each other. We're trying to motivate each other because we both want the same thing. So it's cool. It's cool. So the next question that she asked was, do I have any recommendations of where to buy like my wrestling gear? I personally, I go through eLucha. I have been going to them since like 2021. I did go to someone else that my friend has, a little bit cheaper, but the quality's good. But I've mainly been going to eLucha. That's where I get my stuff. But for like beginner, because I know you're training, so like for just like beginner stuff, I would say just like check out High Spots. That's where I got my stuff from at first. Highspots.com. And then once you start to get like a character going, you start to know what you want and how you want it to look and like what you want a logo to be or something like that. Like I have a cardinal head on my tights, almost every one of my tights now, or some type of cardinal, either representing diabetes for my family or a flexing cardinal or just the cardinal head. Like I have that logo somewhere on every single one of my tights. So yeah, once you get that down, then I would definitely suggest eLucha. But just for starting out, if you just want to get like some basic stuff like knee pads, elbow pads, basic like trunks or you know like I don't just like basic gear, I would suggest High Spots. So the next question comes from a fan of mine who's been a fan for a while, and I like talking to him. Chris Dahl. He asked me like describe a workout routine that I go through and if I have any goals in mind for the gym or the track or anything. I go to a personal trainer. His Instagram is at Training with Javi. He knows that I want to, that I'm a wrestler. So my program is a little bit different from everybody else's. Like my sister goes to him as well. And my program is more like to gain muscle and to get that physique, but also be able to, like hang in the ring and stuff like that. So for me, like a typical workout, like right now, what I'm doing is I go there 3 or 4 times a week. So I do pull with legs, push the next day, and then on like a Friday, I do legs in the morning, and then I believe just pull or whatever I did on the first day, but with no legs because I do legs in the morning. But recently, because of work as well, I can only get there 3 times. So sometimes we'll do like pull with legs, push, and legs, or pull with legs, then legs and push if I can't get there in that middle day. Or sometimes it's vice versa. Like every week we switch it so that it's like push with legs, pull, legs, push, like that kind of thing. But I'm doing like dumbbell bench press, or dumbbell press. I'm doing with legs. I'm doing Bulgarian split squats. I'm doing sumo squats. I'm doing calf raises, 3 different types of calf raises. Sometimes I'm doing spider curls for arms. Sometimes I'm doing dragging curls for arms. I'm doing face pulls. I'm doing crunches. It all depends on what the day gives. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And I try to watch what I eat. I can't really say right now because I just had McDonald's, but that's a different story. I usually try to like watch what I eat, and I try not to eat that much fast food unless it's like a night of a show, and then it's like, okay, nothing else is open. Like last weekend, I wrestled two matches, 2 days right in a row, and there was nothing else open by the time I got home. So I literally had fast food both days, which was terrible. You don't want to do that, but then you kind of just like progress it at the gym, and also I work at a very physically demanding job, so that also helps too. And that's where I kind of get my cardio in as well, because I'm always burning calories there. So it kind of just balances itself. So that's pretty much what my workout routine is. And as for goals, I think the most, like, I don't do like solo bench press like with the barbell anymore because of the program that I'm doing. But eventually, because I know the highest I was doing was like my weight, I want to get to like 225. That's like a big goal of mine, is to get to 225 with that. But also just get even stronger, like build that physique, even if it's not like the greatest physique, just to have something. Like you could tell like here, Like, I don't know if you could tell, but I got, go back like 2 or 3 years ago, I did not have this. Like, I had it, but it wasn't like as like big. So now that I kind of have that, and like my arms are getting a little bit better, my legs are getting stronger, I kind of just want to keep that momentum going, and I'm in the right direction, and I have the right guidance with Javi. So I always say it. I always thank him for everything he tells me to stop, but because of Javi, I'm literally like in the best shape of my life right now. So, but yeah, that is a typical workout week for the Cardinal. So the next question comes from Who This Is One on Instagram. Sorry, I didn't catch your first name. I just put your handle. They asked, what is the match that made me want to wrestle? So there were kind of a couple, but the main one that made me want to wrestle, or the main storyline, let me tell you, the main storyline that made me realize, like, okay, I want to do this, was The Rock versus John Cena. Doesn't matter if it's the first match, doesn't matter if it's the second match they had. Just that storyline where it was like, okay, my top hero, my inspiration, John Cena, has gone downhill, and The Rock came back, and now they're going at it. You have the biggest guy in Hollywood versus the biggest guy in WWE, and John Cena is going downhill, like he's going, and The Rock is taking advantage of that. And then when they had their match, that match, WrestleMania 28, was probably one of my favorite matches to this day. I remember I went on a podcast, and they asked me to watch a match, and we watched that match just because that has so much meaning to me. And I'm so upset with myself that the following year, WrestleMania 29, when it was in New Jersey, I did not go to it. So I've yet to see John Cena wrestle on a live televised event. I have seen him in like a house show in Wildwood, but I forget it because I was like, I don't know, like 10, and I was scared for my life. But, or no, I wasn't 10. I was probably like 13 or 12. But, yeah. So that match, John Cena versus The Rock, that storyline is what got me into wrestling. And those matches just, and I can't even just say one, because WrestleMania 28, after Cena lost, he went downhill, and then he built himself back up, won the Rumble, and then WrestleMania 29, the big payoff. That right there, that storyline is what got me into it. Those two matches. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this. That gave me emotion. That went through a roller coaster of emotion. And you didn't want to boo The Rock, but you also didn't want to boo John Cena. That is what made me want to be a wrestler. All right, so the next question comes from a buddy of mine named Tom. He asked me, do I ever go back and watch like 70s and 80s wrestling to see what worked and what got a pop and this and that? And of course I do. A lot of people, you'd be surprised, but like, I'm 25. A lot of people my age and a lot of people that I come across in locker rooms and in the business, some of them watch, but a lot of them, in my opinion, don't. And that's where I want to differentiate myself. And I'll give you an example. I remember a couple times, like, I'm the Cardinal. That's my name, that's my character, everything. And a lot of people are like, a Cardinal flies. You should be flying all around the ring, this and that, doing all this. And I do respect their opinion. I do. But I agree to disagree. I listen, but I agree to disagree. Because back then, and this is why I do what I do and why the Cardinal is the way he is. Yes, I also think I need to fly a little bit more in the ring. But at the same time, back then, you look at someone, and this is how I describe it to people. It's not the best guy to describe it about because of what he's done. But look at wrestling-wise, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. His nickname was Superfly. And when I've seen, at least the matches I've seen, by Jimmy, he does not really fly around the ring until the end, because that is the big move for him. He does this big splash. For me, outside of doing my diving crossbody off the apron, I really don't do as much flying. I'm more of like a powerhouse. That's how I look at it. That's how my family tells me they look at it. That's how some fans have told me they look at it, that I'm more of like a powerhouse and more built up than a normal Cardinal would, you know? So what I look at is I kind of take that mindset of like how they booked Jimmy Snuka, and it's like, okay, outside of my diving apron crossbody, the rest is going to be all grounded. power moves, power moves, power moves whenever I can. And then for the big finish, that's why they call me the Cardinal. Because it takes me to get all the way to the big finish to see me fly. And that's why. That's my big move. I saved the flying and the reason for the nickname for the end. And that's why I try to keep it that way. Some people could watch this and be like, you're stupid, Nick. But that just goes in one ear out the other, because I have made that decision for myself that that's how I want it to be. And that's kind of just how it is. I mean, you know, I still, of course, take constructive criticism and feedback, but sometimes it's just like I kind of know what direction I want to go with my character. And yeah. So that's that I always tend to watch. I'm a big Kerry Von Erich fan. Big Von Erich fan, actually, but specifically Kerry. I'll watch old NWA, Ric Flair promos, Dusty Rhodes promos, Ole Anderson, I'll watch him, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, I'll watch them, Jake the Snake Roberts, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, you name it, I'll probably watch it. So Dynamite Kid, especially in Japan, him, I'll watch some old like Benoit stuff, Malenko stuff. It's just like, I know that's like more of like 90s stuff, but there's some 80s in there. So yeah, I like to watch that kind of stuff. So it's honestly, that's where I learn the most. Next question comes from probably my biggest fan, and I'm forever grateful for him. Brandon Davis. He asked me not one but two questions, but this one specifically, he asked me, what are some promotions I would like to work for this year? And there's a couple. There's some around his area, like Midwest Championship Wrestling. There's D6 Wrestling. I want to get there. I'm going back to Georgia. I want to explore more. I know there was like, I've messaged a lot of companies, so I know there was one in Arkansas that I was talking to. But like, if I'm going like mainstream, like what are some companies I want to wrestle for in general? Obviously, like people will say WWE, NXT, even though they're the same company. TNA is like the big one for me right now. NWA is another one. Game Changer Wrestling, GCW, not really for me, but they're not always doing like death matches and stuff, so I'm okay with it. Major League Wrestling is another one for me that I want to get to. But yeah, I just want to explore, honestly. Any company that's willing to give me a chance and pay my rate, I just want to explore. I want to give it my all. I want to take the opportunity and run with it. And you never know. You don't know who knows who. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I say about that. Any company that's willing to pay my rate and also, you know, give me an opportunity and a platform to wrestle on, I will gladly like to wrestle for them. Next question by Brandon Davis, and I knew this was coming. I knew he was going to ask me this, because he asked me, am I going after Adam Lockwood's SCW American Championship? Dude, if Lockwood wants to run it back, I will gladly do it. I was not 100%. I'm not saying that that's the reason why I lost. Adam Lockwood is a hell of a competitor. He definitely deserved to win. But I think 2 belts Thompson has a nice ring to it. So if I have to take a title from one of my good friends in this business, it might just have to happen. I'm willing to give this another match, me and him. Maybe we do a best of 3. If I get the dub on this one, I'll give him his rematch, and then we do a best of 3. I don't know. But Adam Lockwood, if you are down for a singles match for the SCW American Championship, dude, let's make it happen. 2 belts Thompson needs to be a thing. It needs to be a thing. It has a nice ring to it. But, yeah. And now we're going to get to the last question. All right, and the last question comes from probably my best friend, Nikki T. He asked me, if they did a Cruiserweight Classic today, who are some wrestlers that you would like to see in it? I got to be selfish. I got to put myself in there. I am a Cruiserweight. I'm trying to record here. I got to be selfish. I got to put myself in there. I am a Cruiserweight. But if not me, I would put Brando Lee. I would put Cooper Valentine. I would put Brian Matthews. Maybe throw in Brandon Downey. Malik Del Vante. KC Navarro. Tony Bennett, have him come back, Anthony Bennett, because he was in the first Cruiserweight Classic, and I think he's on. He's up there. He's on my wall. He's over here. I wrestled him. But anyway, yeah, that's just some names that I could think off the top of my head. Definitely think that they could tear the house down. But of course, I want to be a part of it as well. So I gotta be selfish there. But that's gonna do it for the Q&A. I thank you guys for all the questions. I think we had 11 in total, which is really good for the first time I'm doing this. But if you haven't already, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to be a part of the Cardinal country. The ADL Award champion for I think over 540 days now is out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Be on the lookout for the Thompson versus Thompson match. Hopefully I get the footage soon. If this is out after that match is uploaded, then just ignore what I just said. But if it's not, I should be getting the footage soon. I'm going to upload the full match. Make sure to check that out. It's probably the best match of my career, I'm not going to lie. So make sure to go and check that out. But yeah, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to be part of the Cardinal country. And I'll see you guys in the next video.